Infiniti QX55. Now this is the QX50 with less usable cargo space because it's that weird area of cars I don't understand.
Yeah, but I don't
want
care.
an SUV with a coupe shape.
I don't care. The coupe shape is so much better.
You're watching Everyday Driver. We make a TV show, podcast,
and YouTube channels dedicated to great cars, driving adventures, and helping you find a car you'll love.
subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss a thing.
The QX50 came out. It's kind of old news. But then they're doing what everybody else is doing, at least the Germans.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing the coupe version of almost every SUV they build. And in all those cases, they didn't get better. I do like the original. Porsche is even guilty of this. They have the Cayenne Coupe, even though the new GT is awesome and I want it. It's still very much, as Todd said, very less usable, but it does look good. In Infiniti's case, they need to sell cars. For all my ranting about what Infiniti should do next, here this QX55 drops on us, and this is just as the QX60 is being introduced. So this is still kind of old news, but how good does this look?
It does look
It
good.
now competes against the Macans and the Cayenne Coupes and all the Mercedes GLE and GLC Coupes because style matters.
Yeah.
And that's why they're going to sell a lot of them. If you need to fill your SUV, the back of your SUV, up to the brim, like up to the roof with bags, this is not the one to get.
True,
But
yeah.
who does that?
You're right. That's a fair
Nobody.
point. Yeah.
Nobody I know. The base footprint is still the same. So in this case, I would happily take the QX55, even though, yeah, they're inserting the extra 5, and there's going to be the QX56 and the QX57. What are those going to look like?
Well, it just does suggest they'll do the 60 and then they'll do the 65, which will be like
Just
BMW does
opens
with
that
the
door.
with their 4s and their 6s that are the coupe versions of the
Yeah.
other ones. That it does suggest all of that. I have to agree with you that it does look great.
I'm shocked how great it looks.
It does look great.
It's
It's
actually quite beautiful in places.
It's quite intriguing. I agree with that. And this color combo that we have on this one is kind of interesting too. I sit here and I continue to marvel at the thing that I'm yelling into the wind about why are we sitting this high? Why do we need this? Somebody out there is saying I need ground clearance. My roads are terrible. Your roads aren't that terrible. But anyway, of course it's the SUV craze goes on, grows another head, and everything becomes a coupe.
Yeah.
This has a lot of power though.
It does. Let's talk about the power.
2-liter 4-cylinder with Infiniti's crazy variable compression thing that they do.
Yeah.
Which I actually really like. I just wish it wasn't matched to a CVT.
I agree to that. And we had not driven the VC engine, so variable compression engine. Infiniti has worked for 20 years on creating this engine. Over 100 engine prototypes, a lot of money and effort to make an engine that is indeed variable compression. And so what that means is, because turbos like low compression, but fuel efficiency, you need high compression, they wanted a mix between both. And they have achieved it, and they've achieved it reliably.
Yeah.
So, an actuator arm is attached to an electric motor which moves the multi-link and essentially changes how far the piston can go up, can travel upwards with its connecting rod, thereby opening it up so it has less travel and giving it lower compression for turbo boost when you really jam on the power. 268 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque, but then when you're just feathering the throttle, it changes back and it gives you very high compression for a very fuel-efficient, you're not into the turbo kind of effect.
I'm kind of amazed by it.
Nobody does this.
Yeah.
And for Infiniti to invest that much effort and money in this, for all my electric car, Infiniti should go electric for everything and reinvent themselves. They're invested in internal combustion engines.
Yes.
Do you think they're going to let this go easily?
Yeah. Next gen, it's going to be all electric. We're going to throw that whole tech out.
We did it. Throw it out.
Yay, us! Science
No.
project achieved. A+ with a star and a plus plus.
And moving on, let's reinvent the whole brand. So I'm happy to be wrong. We had not driven any vehicle equipped with this engine yet, but this could be Infiniti's signature thing. They could continue this tech.
I
and
think
it's great.
It's incredible. I am very impressed that they even did it. When they first dropped it as a working prototype, the entire automotive industry kind of stopped and went, "Wait, you did what now?
How'd you do it? You've been working all this time?"
It's fascinating,
Yeah.
and then you marry it to a CVT. So it's like the greatest, most awesome tech married to the what the heck are you doing tech, and this is the marriage. The transmission is trying to act like a non-CVT
Yeah.
because it does gear shifts, but it's a CVT, which doesn't want to have gear shifts. Now, Nissan has a 9-speed. They're starting to put in everything and kill their CVT. What is that like in this? What's a real transmission like in this? Because this engine so wants to be as amazing as the tech suggests, but the result with the CVT, it's kind of jerky, it's unsure. When you get on the power, it's kind of a rocket ship.
It is.
Genuinely really fast. It
shocked.
just takes so much time to kind of find itself and find the right ratio. Oh, that's what we want to do.
Right.
When that happens, it's great. It's not engaging to drive. This has got Infinity's, this is not connected to anything steering. And it feels like it's not connected. It's total video game. But that's not why you buy this anyway, okay? If you're buying the AMG Germans, you might get some steering feel back. You will get an engine that blows your mind, but you're a lot more expensive than this.
True.
This is 60 grand. I like the tech. I like the look. I am so impressed with that engine that is completely hobbled by that transmission.
I agree. But it doesn't lose power because it's a CVT. You don't
it's
feel
true.
like you're losing acceleration or suddenly, I've got a great engine and I'm not going fast enough. It's just, we don't like CVTs. It doesn't give you good engagement. And it makes things really kind of loud and yowly at high speed when you're passing everybody because you've got the power to do it. Now it's just kind of an ugly noise coming from that because your engine is moving hard, but then the CVT, of course, doesn't want to play along. Everybody's buying the tall ride height SUVs. But this actually reminds me of cars from the 40s and 50s that were huge, and the car itself was almost this tall. Remember those huge, fat fender cars?
Sure, okay.
Name the manufacturer, Dodges and Chryslers and Fords and all this stuff. And so that's what people want. They want to sit up high and feel like they're driving a car, but still have the, just fall into the car effect. You don't have to sit down, you just sort of fall into it and you're already in.
100 years of car technology, we're back to wagons? Is that where we've gone? We're back to
Not quite
wagons.
that far.
Almost.
But the engine is so technologically advanced, it's phenomenal.
Yes, I agree. We've got the wagon with like the sci-fi engine. I am so confused right now.
I think Infinity's still confused about who they want to be.
I think that's very possible.
But they have brought out a compelling vehicle. First of all, the exterior of this. It's the coupe shape. I don't like the execution of the D pillar on the QX50. It's freakish and strange. It's just lines for the sake of lines.
It is, you're right.
But then you introduce this beautiful A-pillar roof shape all the way to the back. That changes everything about it. The rest of the sheet metal is the same as the QX50, but this is now beautiful. Look at the surface transitions at the back door handle with Infinity's sort of negative cut here and how it actually integrates to that rear deck lid. That is beautiful surfacing. Finally, something really worth looking at. And I want the entire vehicle to be amazing, even though the CVT lets it down. But this is a compelling, beautiful car, but it's for right now. Look at these fender shapes that go from the base of the A-pillar all the way into the hood. They're fat. They give character to this car. But the biggest thing, that coupe shape changes everything and makes it actually beautiful. The grille is now oversized, just like every manufacturer and Infiniti. There's not really a feeling, I think, among the general buying public that this is the flex. You bought this to really flex on people.
You got the Infiniti.
Nobody really cares.
No. Yeah.
But it does make you seem smart. It makes you seem like you've thought through your purchase by not choosing everything else and going with this, simply because it's a gorgeous shape to look at. That's why we love cars. That's why we buy them. And now in the interior, it's not overdone. It is slightly driver-focused, but it's beautiful without being fussy. There's some major themes here all the way through with some gorgeous wood trim, and I do like this shape surrounding the nav screen that integrates into the armrest. It's clean, it's simple, and there's only one. That's it. It's actually really well done.
That's great observations. I hadn't really noticed, and you're right, the more I look at it, the more I'm impressed by that. What I am distracted by is the fact that Infiniti is still saddled with tech and a tech arrangement from the early 2000s.
Yeah, the icons look like early GPS kind of buttons.
And so as a result, they have a 2-screen layout, which is very weird. The upper screen, if you have Apple CarPlay going, as we do now, it becomes all Apple CarPlay. The lower screen becomes other things you can do to the car. That seems like a good idea, but it's not always intuitive as to where something is. And if you don't have Apple CarPlay connected, it just shows you just this random, here's your weather screen, and maybe your nav if you typed it in. So the upper screen kind of becomes unusable or something you will ignore unless you do Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, which we love, and so that may be how you use it.
Sure.
Also, I have found that when you change the HVAC controls, up, down, and fan speed, that's supposed to come up on the screen with the Apple CarPlay. Sometimes it doesn't. So you're flying a little blind. So
I had not seen that, but apparently you experienced that.
I've had it do both. I've had it show me the stuff along the bottom. I've had it ignore that, but still change things. And I'm just like, but I kind of need that screen to tell me stuff. So Infiniti is battling with their old tech here in a design that I will give that to you. The design is great, and the design seems very modern, and it's saddled with this. It's the same as their engine transmission problem. Really cool, latest, with old stuff we got to deal with. That's going on here as well.
Yeah. Although you have to give Infiniti props for putting the screen and flanking it by vents.
Yes, absolutely.
There's no battle now.
You're right.
They've
got
done both.
good vents up
Sort
high.
of like a pickup truck.
As they should.
The seats are quite good, I feel like. They're excellent for long trips. That's why you're going to be buying this. You're going to commute. You want long trips. And the back seats are excellent, too. I like this. Okay, cargo space a little bit less, but again, unless you're filling it with lawn chairs and stuffing it all the way to the top so you're blocking your view out the back.
Packing it like a shipping container.
Don't care. I'll take the beauty.
You lose a little bit of headroom in the rear seats now. That only matters if you're putting big guys like us in there. Otherwise, you know what, the kids and all that aren't going to notice, and you did get the good design, so I'll give you that.
Yeah, all right.
All right, well, let's hop. I'm going around the back. It's crazy. It's dry around the back.
Strip down the neck.
It's a hard rain today out of nowhere. You've got it. You've got it. Come on, transmission. There it is.
Yeah, see, it has to think.
It does.
Oh, see that yowl? That yowl.
Yeah, it's very...
Because the transmission is trying to deal with this great new tech.
I'm
so impressed with this engine.
Yeah,
I'm thrilled that a
it's
manufacturer
really cool.
has done it. It feels like they've relied on that F1 partnership and kind of trying to separate themselves and stand out. And they have. It's just nobody knows. Nobody cares.
That's key. I think
it just
people
is
know.
another SUV in this class.
Yeah.
That's its issue.
Hard. Yeah.
Now, as far as driving is concerned, yes, you're disconnected, but this is the same platform from Daimler that the GLA and the GLB are built on. I knew I liked it. I knew it as soon as I started driving it.
All right.
I knew that I liked it. But that initial turn-in is actually, there's no feel, there's no road or car feel, but there's a quick turn-in to this, which makes it kind of feel alive, and more alive than most SUVs in this class.
Okay.
And for that, I give it massive props. Because it seems like it's spry.
Because it doesn't feel lumbering at all, because it has that immediate turn-in.
It's got that initial power, the quick turbo, and it feels light on its feet, and that initial quick turn-in. This feels more nimble. I mean, they've kind of gotten you there artificially.
Yeah. The steering's connected to nothing. But totally artificially.
Yes. But props to Infiniti for setting themselves apart. Again, nobody knows. Nobody's discovered this.
Yeah.
And this has been out for a while now, and the QX50's been around for 3 years now. But yeah, I am impressed with Infiniti. It's been, I can't believe I'm saying that.
Well, it's interesting because we've driven a few of their product of late, and some of them we really haven't liked, some of them have been mixed bags. I think this is in the mixed bag category, but this is the first one that's really surprised me.
Yeah, in a good way, I would say, in a good way.
Because it showed up in our list of cars, and we both kind of went, oh, another 5-seat SUV.
The QX,
yeah, exactly.
What?
Just a string of letters and numbers that starts with a Q.
Yeah.
And then we got in it, and we find these things about it that are really endearing. That interesting engine, the fact that the design is really cool, stuff that we go, oh, this is really, really cool. And then behind it is lurking these things that let it down.
Yeah.
The transmission, the tech are the two that really spring to mind. But there is something here that is a real good surprise.
Yeah.
And I think about if you're tricking out your equivalent coupe version of the Mercedes GLC, or your equivalent coupe version of the X4. They're going to be more expensive than this.
They are, yeah.
By the time you get it all in, they're going to be more expensive than this. Now, you may end up with more power and that kind of stuff, but if you're shopping in this I like a coupe SUV, I think this is going to get overlooked, and it shouldn't.
You're absolutely right. So therefore, I agree with you, and I think this is now in the category where we put Volvo. The surprise, the alt that you should take a serious look at. Now, this Infiniti is not close to the Volvos that we love as far as the jewelry and all the surprise and delight that we love about the Volvos, but it's getting there. And this is a genuine alt, and for 60 grand, it's not a bad consideration. If you like the styling and you like being here and you like how it drives, buy this car. I think it's going to be great. I'm very pleased with it, and I'm shocked that I'm saying that about Infiniti
I'm shocked
and
you're
Nissan.
saying it too. I think you like it.
I can't believe it.
I think you like it even more than I do. I think that there's an interesting thing that this taps into with you that is kind of working on me.
Okay.
It's that thing you always say about styling.
Yeah,
This is
styling does a big thing for me.
This is styling pushing past the issues of this car.
Yeah.
It's making it more compelling because inside and out, it's interesting and it's attractive.
Yeah.
And so you've heard these issues that we have. The issues are there.
They exist.
But
absolutely.
If you're a person, which isn't us, if you're a person that isn't all that concerned with how something drives, you need it to run, you need it to work.
Yeah.
I want decent gas mileage, it has to get places. I want to just engage with it like a car, but I don't really care. Once you take that out of the equation and you make it a commute device, and maybe a little bit of an executive styling commute device, I want to look classy, then this is even more compelling because the driving elements that are frustrating to us don't matter.
Yes, but let's compare tech to Lexus. And from
fair.
this model year backwards, all the tech in the Lexus, I would choose this all day long.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. No, you're right. Lexus is just now updating tech that makes
choose this
look intuitive.
Yes.
Which is unbelievable to say.
So yes, if I'm going to buy an SUV, it's probably going to have a Porsche badge on it because I want the SUV, despite its size and weight, to handle well and be fun to drive.
Yeah.
But again, this is such an interesting alternative to the market that people need to know about this. People need to know that Infiniti has finally come to play, and they're doing it with tech, and this gives me a good feeling that they're going to do more, that they've got styling down and they've got their own signature look.
Let's hope so.
This can be improved in subsequent models.
And hopefully it will be, yeah.
So can driving experience, but that just bodes well for the entire brand, and I'm thrilled to say this.
I like your point about that engine. That's a lot of development to chuck out. So
Can you imagine? They'd be like, we did it,
Yeah.
and let's go electric. What?
It does suggest that you could hang on to that engine tech for a
wrong
while.
with you people?
Let's hope it doesn't become like the Mazda with the rotary thing, like a little science project on the side. Look, we did it! We're still hanging on!
Good news, this one doesn't have apex seals.
It does. That's true.
So
that's very true.
we're fine.
This is. I remain so mixed on Infiniti.
Yeah,
I want to have
mixed.
something that across the board I'm just like amazing.
Yeah.
This is so much better than I thought it would be, with those struggles behind the scenes.
Agreed. Well, this also comes with Nissan's Pro Pilot Assist, so that is the lane keeping assist, and when you're on cruise control mode, it is not an autonomous technology by any stretch.
Someone's going to think so.
Yeah.
Still isn't.
But I like that Nissan is pushing on that, and I like that every car company is trying to find their voice in this area and give you something that is genuinely comfortable to just take the miles down. It's now on the list. If you're shopping the alts for SUVs that you've never considered before, Volvo's way up there, but this is now at least at the bottom of the list. It's on the list.
It's at least worth going and driving and seeing if it resonates with you, for sure.
Wow. Yeah. We're continually impressed with what Nissan is doing, the effort they're putting in, and it's trickled over to Infiniti too.
Let's hope it continues. Let's get rid of the CVT here.
Let's get rid
That
of the
would
CVT.
Revolutionize this.
Can we just
that.
throw those? Can we just recycle them?
Just let's all
grind
of those,
them up,
Those are the science projects that do need to be chucked out.
turn
Keep
them
the
into
engine.
sculptures.
Yes,
or
there you go. I don't know
something.
what kind of sculpture that is, but it's bound to be awesome. It probably is a better sculpture than it is a transmission.
It is.
It's better art.
Yes, it's a monument to the bad old days of CVTs. Don't ever do that again.